Welcome, everyone. Surprise Live. They're all going to be surprised. Unless you're following, then you'll be notified as soon as I go live. As you can tell by the title, today we're going to talk to those of you looking to get your first job, preceptorship, or shadow opportunity in dermatology. Instead of asking for help, I want you to focus on how you can offer help. And we're going to talk about 3 ways I think you can do that. That includes helping the person that you're trying to get their attention, helping with their social media. This includes creating and managing their content, helping to increase their patient engagement and boost that practice's visibility. Number 2, bringing in brand deals and partnerships, connecting that provider with skincare, pharmaceutical, and medical device brands for collaborations is just the starting point. And lastly, my favorite one is how you can help them leverage their name, image, and likeness for revenue. You can help that provider monetize their expertise through speaking engagements, digital products, sponsored content, and that's just the beginning. And this strategy makes sense because most providers, once you get into this work, we don't have time for marketing, partnerships, or monetizing our brand. So when you, the student or aspiring clinician that's looking to transfer into dermatology, you offer up help in these areas, it's going to make you much more valuable than anyone else. Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Dr. Kimberly Madison. I'm a doctorally prepared nurse practitioner, and I'm the founder of Mahogany Dermatology Nursing Education and Research, where we specialize in increasing access to dermatology education for nurses and nurse practitioners with an emphasis on skin of color, utilizing AI and augmented reality. You're going to hear so much more about that at the time that you're watching this. So I'm filming February 1st. All my shows go live on Sundays. I've been going live on YouTube. Well, I've been going on YouTube for over a year now. I've been doing live, I don't know, maybe 6 months or so, but I've been doing batch content. I always, if I'm going to encourage you to do something, I try to give you strategy. And I've been going live every week, but to help you avoid social media burnout, I always recommend batch content. And I've been doing this since December, and I love it. So tonight, if you're free and you can hang out with me, we'll be filming 3 episodes. And then I hide them until I'm ready for them to premiere. But like I said, if you're subscribed, you'll be notified and you can participate in this conversation. I can answer your questions live and directly, and that's really the joy of it. If I get enough of you on board and you want to do it, certainly I would love to do office hours. I've been talking about that for over a year now, where you all come on and we just answer your questions. And so before we get too far, I just want to thank you so much. Since I saw you last time I filmed 2 episodes. Say we're going to try to do 3. My recommendation, if you can do 4 and be done with your month in one day, I love it. But I want to thank you because since I last saw you, I had 100. Now it's more than 100 subscribers, and then I got notified last week that I had over 5,000 views, and then before the week ended, I had 5,500 views. And if you're not in this space, maybe it might be hard to gauge. But that's the fastest I've gotten that I've gotten. I usually don't get those 2 notifications in 1 week, so things are definitely taking off. There's this whole concept around the 2-year mark. It's tough to make it to 2 years. A lot of people, I think I even shared with you, I met this guy who wanted to start his own podcast, and he's like, after I do 2, if I don't get really good numbers, I'm going to stop. When I started podcasting, they said until you get to 100, you can't even start to count your analytics. Okay, that's just how long it takes to even be a competitor, not even a competitor, just to be in the number. And so to get to 2 years, I don't know where I heard that, but the first 2 years, once you hit around that time, I can be a witness to that things really start to take off. And I wanted to share this quote actually from Jasmine Star. She said, "It's going to take longer than you think, look different than you expect, and be bigger than you can imagine." And that is my life indeed. I'm so excited to get into this topic with you all. This is just another part of our conversation on how to get into dermatology. Someone always brings this up in Facebook literally every day. It's the most number one asked question. And so I started a playlist because I've answered this question in multiple ways. I've given you multiple strategies. So like I said, I come live on YouTube every week, every Sunday. And then, someone's already here. Let's see who that is. Say hello. Don't be a stranger. I drop free articles, free content on the Mahogany Dermatology blog for 2 years now. And we have a community for you because we're going to talk about community. Community is super important, actually. We have the DMV Dermatology MPPA group and our sister group, Derm MPs and PAs of Atlanta. We're a networking group for MPs and PAs who aspire or practice in medical, surgical, or cosmetic dermatology with emphasis on mentorship and entrepreneurship and education. And then what else do we have? Partnerships for you, and we'll get into those later. But since most of you are here because of the title, we'll jump into that, and then we'll do all our updates. Every week, it's a continuing conversation where we talk about health and wellness, dermatology, entrepreneurship, things like that, how we can work together. And so, but we always start the top the same, health and wellness, and then I'll do all the updates after our main topic. And you know why this topic is why I'm super excited, not only because the topic's fun and I love this and I know it's going to help all of you, but just this week in the paper. So I live in Houston now, and I can't even tell you the last time I looked at a newspaper. But this week we did hold the newspaper. My love bug went to look for some coupons. And while he was looking for coupons, guess what's in the paper? On the front of the paper, Texas ranks among top states for entrepreneurs. I actually, if there, depending on how long I chat today, I might read this towards the end, but not just that, not just the title of that paper. Inside, I couldn't believe it. And I think I had already picked the title for this week when I saw this. Look, this is a doctor, right? There's her picture and there is her expertise right there in the paper. That's exactly what we're going to talk about today and exactly how you can help someone do just that. So I always say, if you're in the business of taking care of other people, then I think you should be in the business of taking care of yourself. And so to demonstrate that, I always start these episodes talking about my own health and wellness, not because you care or I need to share, but I'm hoping that it just inspires you to put it on the top of your priority list while you're watching this. Maybe you can add it to your calendar. So let's get into mine. So since you last saw me, I have made no progress when it comes to my mammogram or scheduling the mental health provider. So there's nothing I can update you on that. The plan is still to go home and do the mammogram, still to get the mental health provider. And my tooth chipped yesterday. So now my dental visit won't just be a regular cleaning. And honestly, I think she might say I need a crown because of the way the tooth chipped. And we've already done repairs to that tooth before. Like I told you last year, I had like all the amalgams replaced. So I think that's what she's gonna say. We'll see. So I do need to schedule that. And I've actually called her like 3 times already to try to schedule an appointment. And so hopefully this week will be the winner. And then, I am still reading the Bible, doing the Bible in a year. It's my second time. First time was when I was a little girl. It's February now. This morning read Leviticus, so that's where we are. And then I joined church. So there's a local church I've been going to, and I joined. And so I have made some progress in that area. And so speaking of church, we're going to start with our devotional. We always do that too. And then there's a tiny little prayer at the end, and then we'll get into how you can leverage your time to get what you want in dermatology. Okay, so, and I use the Holy Bible app. This is a free app, and it has audio features. So I tell everyone, if I'm going to give you suggestions, I want to give you strategy because I know your life is busy and you're managing a lot of things. And so, first of all, it's free. So if you're a student or you're an entrepreneur where time and capital are limited, then hey, it's free, no excuse there. And the audio feature, so many times I'm listening to it when I'm driving or walking or doing my morning routine. And so that helps me stay consistent. Someone asked me today, how do I stay consistent on social media? Maybe we'll do that in a future episode. But in general, I would say just a consistent period, right? With eating, I've been vegan for almost 10 years now, working out, certainly on social media, all these things, they all, how do you stay consistent? Well, the first one is just a decision, like this is what I want to do. And then creating boundaries. So saying no to things that would impede that. And then just having a schedule, having in my head, okay, this is when I'm going to do something, this is when I'm going to do something. But it is challenging if you have a family, but or other competing needs. But the person who asked me literally was sharing with us how her and her husband bought like these like membership to like a event out here in Houston, so that they have like set dates, at least seven set dates throughout the year that include getting a babysitter, going out to a really nice restaurant, getting dressed up. And so at the time when she was talking, I didn't think about it, but later I was like, Actually, she's very consistent in one, in this particular area. So I know it can be leveraged in other areas, but it has to get on the calendar. It can't be something that stays in your head or it won't get done. So let's get into our devotional. So when Moses asked God's name at a burning bush in the desert, God responded by saying, I am that I am. In Hebrew, this phrase is Ayeh, Asher, Ayeh. And you can correct me if you happen to know the correct pronunciation, which can be translated several ways, including I exist, I will be, or even I am who I will be. In a world of constant change, the name Ayeh, Asher, Ayeh reveals God as eternally present and unchanging. This name teaches us that God's nature remains constant. He is as faithful, loving, and powerful today as he was in biblical times. It was a declaration that God exists outside of time, unchanging in his character and promises. The same God who led Israel through the wilderness leads us through our challenges today. His character hasn't diminished, his promises haven't expired. Consider the areas of your life experiencing change or uncertainty. Take time today to write down 3 of God's unchanging attributes or promises that speak to these situations. Return to these truths throughout the week, remembering that while circumstances change, Ayeh, Asher, Ayeh remains constant. In our prayer, Eternal God, thank you for being unchanging when everything else shifts. Help me anchor my life in your constant nature. Amen. Thank you. So, like I say, you don't have to believe what I believe, but that's what I believe. And so I share it. And I just encourage you to find something that you can believe and hold on to that's bigger than yourself. Okay, so let's talk about it. So, as you know, if you're watching this, that breaking into dermatology as a nurse or a nurse practitioner can feel really impossible. Finding a job, finding a preceptor, getting a shadowing opportunity because everyone wants experience or you're competing with other demands. But the secret is just asking for an opportunity and offering some, isn't just asking for an opportunity. That's what all of you are doing. What's making you different? Just presenting patient experience, just sending an email, shooting them up in LinkedIn. What's making you different? What's going to make you stand out from someone they don't know, right? Offer something in return. In today's episode, we'll go over 3 ways you can get noticed by dermatology providers and practices by helping them with social media, brand partnerships, sponsorships, name, image, likeness. Let's get into it. So the problem is that you're competing. You're competing with residents and PAs, and most practices are small businesses. They're too busy to take on students or new hires unless there's a clear benefit to them. And it's your job to make that benefit clear. But at the end of this video, you will know how to do just that. As you know, or maybe you don't know, providers, I think if you're a student or you haven't been in, I think especially if you're a student, and perhaps if you haven't been in DERM, you don't know how busy it is, but definitely if you're a student, you just don't understand because everyone's saying, hey, go do this thing, go get a preceptor. And so you didn't realize it, that you were going to have to climb up a mountain to do it, and without any manual. So providers, we just don't have time for social media, marketing, or securing partnerships, even though these things can help grow our practice. Most NP students and clinicians just ask for a job or preceptor, but few actually offer a solution that makes it worth the provider's time. So instead of just asking, let's talk about how you can bring value. So let's do the social media. So you can help create posts for them. You can schedule these posts. Featuring their treatments that they like. You can come up with little names for them, their products, show before and afters, help them with engage their potential patients, answer FAQs, get in their DMs and answer those, set up email newsletters, blog, content. Okay, let's look at this. So create and schedule posts. So you know what, you need to have a content calendar. You can go to ChatGPT, you can go to Canva. Canva is a free website where you can do like digital graphics. So you can definitely use Canva for free and make a bunch of content. I recommend if they're bringing you on, that they get the pro version, and it's not that expensive, and they're just going to get so much more. They're going to get the return on their investment because it's going to give you access to the littlest things like automatic clipping, removing background images. That's how I create the thumbnail that you see now. Most of my thumbnails, actually, the thumbnail you see now was taken today. So right here, and so on LinkedIn, I talk about LinkedIn every week, but I met an NP out here, DNP, trained NP. She wanted to meet in person, and my intern Jade came up with gave her what I wanted to do. She gave us a list to choose from, and so we went and we had an activity, and we took a picture also with this DNP student that I'm advising. And yeah, that's the picture that you see on that thumbnail is from us and the owner of that candle shop and one of her employees. We had such a ball. It was supposed to be like 1 hour. That's what we booked our time for. But with all our talking and catching, and actually they didn't know each other whatsoever. I was originally their connection, but as they started to talk, they all realized they had something in common, and so it was so fun. It was so fun. We're definitely going to be doing more of those. So anyway, most of my thumbnails, like most of them, that's just me. I've removed the background image, and it can seem like a really small detail, but when you have that option, you can just really make your images pop, right? So I recommend the pro version. You can do the free one. Let them see like how, uh, let them see your skills, unless you already can show them like a portfolio up front, which would be great even for yourself. And then it will just help kind of drive home your pitch to convince them to do the paid version. And it's a business expense. Make sure you mention that in case if they're not remembering. And so you can go on Canva. It can give you a calendar, and so can ChatGPT. With ChatGPT, and even ChatGPT and Canva, they actually work together. So the AI feature in Canva is ChatGPT. You can also go to ChatGPT, and the images you get, they're kind of coming from Canva too. So they've kind of crossed paths. But you can go to ChatGPT, describe who you are, what you're trying to do for your provider, and then say, hey, we need a content calendar, and use that content calendar to make your life easy. And then you can schedule the posts. So like, for instance, I'm going to do 3 episodes today. I'm going to schedule them all today. I'm going to go on all the platforms that I usually do my marketing, and I'll schedule them all today. So it'll be another 3 weeks before I sit down and do this all over again. Some people, I know they do like a lot of filming on one day, and it can be a lot. So they come back another day and they'll do edits and things like that. So it just depends on what works for you. I like to get it done. And so I do that once a week typically. On Sundays, I'll just take care of all my social media stuff. Now the reels you see during the week, those are usually done that day. I've grown so much from doing those, and there's something about a skill that, you get better the more you do it. And so I still recommend that you batch content. That's still my recommendation for you, right? Because in 1 hour, you can get done 2 hours. I think 2 hours, you can get a whole month of content done. And then you have the rest of your life, right? For me, though, even as a writer, there's something about doing something every day. And just like an athlete who practices every day, there's something about that. And so I really like it, and I'm probably going to keep doing it. But other than that, everything else gets scheduled. All the blogs, some of the blogs you've seen, I wrote them in December during my sabbatical. So as much as you can get done in one day where you have control over that day and not getting distracted, that would be my recommendation. And so you are going to make this pitch, right? You're probably working, you're in school, obviously, and then you need to do this rotation. So find a way that you can schedule it. And you really need to be on as many platforms as possible. They do have some social media management tools where you can just put it in one place and schedule. Again, this practice. It's a business expense. It's my recommendation. And honestly, because I've done social media so long, if someone brings me in to do social media up front, I'm saying, look, I can't do it unless you have a social media management tool, because it's not sustainable. In your situation, once you make your pitch and you tell them how it's important, then you make the pitch on why they need to purchase a tool. But don't just present the tool options. Give them 3 options, 3 prices, the pros and cons, and always look to see if that platform offers a business price. So yeah, and because this is, remember, you're pitching, so they keep it in place. That's the additional value. Anything you can recommend it's sustainable. That's what we do in the DMP program. What's going to live on beyond you, right? And so that's where they're going to see like the real value that you can bring. And we can always talk about different tools that you can use. You can also ask ChatGPT, ask it to give you pros and cons, put the whole list together for you, be done with it. Let's see. And so, yeah, this is where a chance you can highlight what they have to offer. The services, if they have specials going on, products that they sell or recommend, and then those before and afters. Everyone loves those. You can use the same content that you make that one video and post it all over the place. But what you want to do differently, shout out to Gary Vee, is you want to tweak the caption a little bit for each platform, because each platform is a little bit different. The audience is a little bit different. And so that's something I started this week. And I just had ChatGPT. I gave it my base one that I always use. And I said, hey, just tweak this for each platform. So Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. And it did just that. And so you can get that done too. And that will help them be consistent. And in addition to the practice, a little tip is also think about, is it a certain month that, like for instance, what do you call it? June is vitiligo month, right? So like for that month, Black History Month is Black History Month, happy Black History. So little things like that they can do in the community. If there's things going on in the community that they're related to, they can share that too. So think a little bit outside the box on that. And then of course, those before and afters. I'm going to recommend video. I want you to recommend video when it comes to creating content. I was sharing this with my good friend, Dr. Farah Laurent. So say we send you to Canva, or I'm sending you to Canva. I'm telling you it's a ready-made template. You just got to change the branding and the colors and put the text that you want. It's laid out for you. It's laid out in the sense that it's there, but you do need to still have some marketing acumen, if you will. So whatever you create, and if you're going to create those static posts, remember I said the social media square, because you can't put flyers on Instagram. So if you create this square, you can put it on all the platforms. Whatever you create, whether it's a video or static, you want it to be profile, and you want somebody's face to take up most of that screen time. Because remember, most people are visiting your website, your social media page on their phone. And so, we're scrolling. And so when it's profile, you take up more screen time before they've scrolled past your face. And so if your face takes up most of it in your video or your static post, you're gonna have more time to keep their attention and get their attention and keep it. And so on Canva, a lot of times they'll have like little pictures of people's faces, and you can just pop your picture in there. But I don't recommend that. I want you to blow those faces up. And less is more sometimes, but even still, if you have that remove background feature, you can really get people much bigger, taking up more of the screen, just a little bit of text, enough to get them to read the caption, because it's either a caption or an email that's usually accompanying a digital flyer. And I know, because we are in science and medicine, we love words. We think the words are everything. And if you start paying attention to people who are in our space, who create stuff, it's just so many words. But think about when people are going to social media, depending on who your target audience is, they don't want to read. That's why these platforms are so popular. They will read the captions, and that helps with accessibility. But I'm just going to tell you to go to the caption, okay? And especially it helps with the SEO, because SEO can't always see those flyers, but it will pick up the text in the caption. So, and I wrote one of my first articles on the blog was about how you don't have to use hashtags anymore, even though they're still highly used. And a lot of these social media management tools are using hashtags. But because we have these search features now, and they're so well developed, you really don't need hashtags, because you're just going to use a search feature, and the algorithm is going to pick that up and see it. But when you take all that text in your flyer and put in the caption, Google sees it. So when people are Googling those keywords, your social media content will pop up. And so that's why it's also really important that you put more text in the caption. Engage with their clients. This is a huge, huge one. So a lot of people will make the mistake of using these automatic tools. The automatic tools are great, but you still have to engage with your audience. That's really what's going to separate you. Remember, all these tips have to go back with the person. It's all about people. And so if you're not in the comments responding to people, answering their DMs, responding to email, liking their content, be part of the community. That's one of the things that makes LinkedIn so powerful. It's one of the reasons you can't just hop on LinkedIn today and be successful tomorrow, because you have to connect with people. You have to, and that's what and LinkedIn makes it impossible. Really, you can only connect and follow so many people or so many types of accounts. Over the course of time, that increases. And so that's really where you're incentivized to be really active and engaging on the platform. And so, I just see this happening with a lot of organizations. They have no one responding. It doesn't have to be every day, but maybe at least 3 times a week before the weekend. Certainly, you don't want people who send a message on Thursday and then going like that time, and at least by Monday or Tuesday, starting to respond to those weekend questions. I think that's super, super important because again, this is a customer, right? And so, this is the Nurse Practitioner Entrepreneur Series. And so what we always say when it comes to entrepreneurship is you always want to invest more in the client you already have than the new one. So the client you already have, that's considered a warm lead. You've already made like a relationship. Whereas a cold lead, you have no relationship there. You still have to kind of convince them that it's worth it to listen to what you have to say or buy what you're offering. So this is still the same case with patients, right? And so or a potential patient. So someone who's when people take the time to comment, like, subscribe, you've gotten their attention, right? Because so many times you can look at it, right? That people aren't engaged in your full content. Maybe it just popped up on their screen. And so those people, they're not taking the time to do it. When someone takes the time to do it, you have made a lot of leeway with them. And so you want to respond to them because you're that much closer to making a conversion. So it's booking an appointment, selling a product, having them sign up for something, having them agree to give you your email, where you can continue to further nurture that relationship and get to your endpoint, which is where they take up your offer. And so, yeah, I see a lot of people just don't really understand or appreciate that, and that how important it is to engage in the comments with your customers. I really can't emphasize that enough, and you can really help with that. Someone who's seeing patients all the time, they really don't have time all the time, and you can just make it so much easier for them to maintain those relationships. And then set up new email newsletters and blog, all about the writing. I'm certainly going to be excited about this one. If they don't already have it, then certainly you can bring something new because, again, that's going to put them in that SEO. So SEO, search engine optimization. So the more, so say you have your website, and a lot of websites, they don't update it, right? There's nothing new on there. So unless someone's searching the more someone searches your website, the higher you get on the results, right? And so if you're putting out a blog every week, every 2 weeks, that's more content in the algorithm for you to then be higher in the results. And for you, someone who wants to be in dermatology, this is an excellent opportunity for you to publish, to get your name out there, but it's also going to, put you in a position to have to read and learn. And that's going to increase your confidence, your knowledge, your confidence, and reduce your imposter syndrome, which I talked about on social media this week, which is a real thing. And you're just going to learn so much. And it might, stimulate certain questions that you wouldn't otherwise have and really optimize your learning experience. And of course, for the business, you're going to attract new clients with your content. And so if you bring in new patients, the provider is much more likely to invest in your training, whether you're trying to do preceptorship, shadow, or a job. Okay, so that's social media. If you have any questions about it, let me know. The second one, the most fun, well, not the most fun one, the last one is the most fun one, but this is one you're very familiar with. This is one that I think Derm does really well, but not all doctors are doing this or taking advantage of it. So securing brand deals and partnerships and thinking outside the box on that, because I know a lot of people do things with pharma because those reps are walking in their clinic, right? But who's not walking in their clinic? Who might benefit from partnering on a product or having them push their product? Maybe they get them a discount, affiliate code. Maybe they sponsor events or dinners. Maybe they host a try and see, like, little, so people can come and test out their products, and then that brings in more clientele. Like, so many things you could do there. They could rent out their space so other people can have events, other people can offer trainings. So anyway, a lot of providers don't realize that they can partner with skincare brands. So those skincare brands can be your big labels, it can be your small labels, right? Pharmaceutical companies, and how you're partnering with them, right? Maybe you do speak for them. That's a common one. Maybe you just establish relationships and you're an elite liaison for them. I do that with Visual DX. And so it's possible, even as a nurse practitioner, as an APP, those opportunities are there. Medical device reps, medical device companies, and those are your friends too. So when we're talking about networking, those are some other people who make their way around the whole region. They're assigned the whole region. So they're a great person to have their ear and say, hey, do you know any opportunities where they hire nurse practitioners? So yeah, that's how I would probably start that conversation. So you can help them reach out to these brands. So you can put together the email that's gonna, so you can go out there, search, so talk to the provider, find out what companies they want to be interested in, do your own research to find out what companies align with their mission, vision, and values for their reputation and their company. And then you can put together the pitch for that. So the pitch could be narrative, so like an email, letters, physical letters, and also their pitch deck or media kit. So and you can go Google media kit. Let's say it's basically kind of like a PowerPoint presentation, if you will, someone's picture, their bio, what they've done, what they can, what they, if they have services or goods. Um, and that's how you, so if you have like a PR team, um, they would put together a package like that for you, and then they would pitch you and say, hey, this is so and so, this is what they're all about, and we'd love to have them on your platform, and give all the reasons why. Maybe they're a new practice, maybe they're an established practice, they have a large clientele. This is what makes them unique, and yeah, the more you do it, the better you'll get. And so, yeah, with that pitch deck, you can also help them get speaking engagement, because you're going to go over the internet, scour the internet, especially on LinkedIn, and look for opportunities for speaking engagements, and opportunities for them to collaborate for so many things. They can collaborate on social media. They can go live with someone in the office. Maybe if I know a lot of practices will do kind of like specials where, if y'all come in after hours, we'll do a discount for certain procedures. And what you can do, you can make that live content and keep repurposing it. Get some B-roll. So we talked about B-roll today in our little outing. So if the initial video is you showing how you're doing Botox on someone, the B-roll is you still hear the voice of the person talking about what is Botox, the trends, the things you can do. So they're talking. And then every once in a while, you see clips of the office, right? You see someone preparing the Botox. You see them taking you through the front door, giving you a tour of the clinic. So that's the background footage. So when you have things that are in person, always capitalize on that. So even if only 5 people show up, right? When you replay it, repurpose it, maybe 5,000 people will actually get a chance to view it. And so all that time and energy put in, you will get it back. You can still get it back. And so speaking engagements, think outside the box. You can go to schools, certainly you can go to conferences. Think who else would be in alignment with this. Go outside of dermatology, really stand outside the box there. If entrepreneurship opportunities, certainly churches, if there's like a specific population that you want to reach, where are they at? Go there. Uh, country clubs, maybe a winery. I mean, just be really, really creative and really catch someone's attention. And then, of course, collaborations. Anything, of course, we have our products, we have our devices, but everything. What about clothing and office furniture? Everybody wants really nice office furniture, and maybe something, maybe plants. Maybe you collaborate with a plant company. Think about their personality and think about something that's going to make everyone's job easier who works there and improve the patient experience when they come visit. Really think outside the box. Maybe they could use a wall where people can all take pictures. Maybe add something to the experience, like aromatherapy or lighting. Um, yeah, maybe the employees need something, and so that's where it really helps if you can find out their pain points. Um, but yeah, just think about how you can add to that. Help set up lunch and learns or sponsored events for the practice. They might have someone, but also think outside the box on how you can do that, because who else might benefit from their lunch and learn? Certainly other people in derm, people trying to get into derm, but also our interdisciplinary peers, right? Today, like one of the ladies I met, she works in emergency medicine, and she started her own company. And one of the things she teaches is suturing, because she noticed so many providers were coming in who didn't know how to do it. And they were asking her to teach everyone else. And so she's like, I can do this under my own umbrella. And so, just because you offer something in derm, that doesn't mean other specialties can't benefit from it. And so those lunch and learns could also be an opportunity to open the doors to other peers, and other companies. So And then sponsored events. Maybe you have people come in and say, hey, we can get you access to, maybe they even collaborate with another clinic that maybe it's not derm related. Maybe they do medical, there's an aesthetics, certainly a lot of plastic surgery plastic surgery offices will collaborate with their nurse who now has left and started their own post-op nurse company, right? That's a great partnership there, right? Who else would benefit? Who else do you share clients with? Two things I think I've learned that are the most important things in business. Uh, the first one is you need to identify another business who benefits from your business being in existence, right? And so, like that plastic surgeon and that nurse post surgical business, right? They share the same client, right? That surgical office typically hands off their patients into nurses' hands. That nurse needs patients who had surgery, and where are those patients gonna recoup? Do you build your own place? Do you collaborate with a hotel? Do you buy out, get some real estate property? Or maybe you rent property, I don't know, and so now there's someone else who could potentially benefit from this relationship that's going on. Maybe they need transportation. Like, really just think, how do you get from point A to B, and where can I fit into that? So yeah, and then help them this is great, help them apply for grants, research funding, small business, loans, industry sponsorships. This is, like, where you can really be of benefit, and if you do have, dreams to have your own business, this works in your favor because 'cause you'll have done a lot of the research. And this works because if you can bring in brand deals that financially benefit the practice, you're no longer just another applicant. It always comes down to the numbers. So my last one, name, image, and likeness. I love this idea. So maybe if you're a sports fan, you've heard of this. It's become a big topic of conversation. I'm not a expert when it comes to name, image, likeness. What I know about it is it's being utilized a lot for college athletes so that they can benefit every time their face shows on a screen, every time um, all the things they were doing for before but not getting paid because they were college students, but certainly at the pro level that was happening. And in the last year or so, they've allowed college students to get that. And so they're getting a little bit more screen time. They're getting other perks because of that. And I was like, why can't we do this in dermatology? We certainly can. And I just talk about derm, that's my specialty, but you can do, if you're in whatever specialty, all these principles apply in so many ways. And a lot of these ideas really come by just keeping my ear open in other industries, right? So I hear that they do something in sports, and I say, "Hey, can we do this in derm?" Same, like that's how I kind of approach the world and get inspiration. So yeah, many providers are missing out on this revenue because they don't realize their expertise, reputation, and online presence can be monetized through their name, image, and likeness. It's a powerful way to generate passive income. Well, that whole idea of passive, it's not really that passive. Someone's keeping an eye on it, right? So the student or clinician, you can help them leverage this by setting up digital assets and partnerships that allow them to earn money outside. So let's talk about what you can do. So digital products and ebooks. I have the Mahogany Dermatology shop. I set up all of those. I created all those, and it doesn't take long. I watched like a couple YouTube video tutorials, and then I just went for it. And then on Canva, they have ebooks, and you just change the color and the branding and keep it simple. It can be some people sell one-page PDFs, and some people do. Oh, I forgot to tell you, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you about my biggest launch ever. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I've totally forgot. Which is a business coaching program that I signed up for, 8-week program, put on by Jasmine Star. So Jasmine Star, she dropped out of UCLA's law school, decided to follow her passion and be a photographer, became world-renowned wedding photographer. People started asking her how was she booking clients. So she started answering their question, and she's like, well, this is how I do it. And she just created a link, a one-page, I think it was one-page PDF with just links. I heard another guy say this too. He put like a PDF together with links of the equipment he used to put on his podcast, his YouTube videos, and he made a lot of money from that. He's like, people really just want that. And for Jasmine, she made $100,000 in 1 year from that PDF. And so don't underestimate the power of a PDF. And so you can do this. So you go over there, you put in there, figure out what it is they want to talk about, and you can just make it. Ultimate Acne Guide, How to Treat Eczema at Home. Look, you can do the spring, summer, fall version of just about anything. Many patients, even other clinicians, want to learn from experienced providers, but they can't always book a visit. So this can be something they can do in the meantime or after, so if you consider the visit the sale, you always want to upsell them. What's another thing you can add on to make more money? And these ebooks can be a way. They can be a funnel too, right? And so a funnel is kind of like the journey someone takes before they accept your offer. So maybe they just subscribe to your social media. And then maybe you offer, hey, this free digital download for your email in exchange, because once you have their email, because you don't own that social media platform, at any time it could shut down, right? And only 10% of your followers even see your content to begin with. And so you're going to miss out on a lot of people. But if you have their email or even their text number, which is a new thing that is it's a thing now for entrepreneurs, is to get your phone number. Then you just get more exposure, right? Because now you can email them all the time. And so if you give them something for free, this PDF, now all of a sudden you have their email and you can continue to sell them and get a higher rate of conversion through those points of contact. You can put together a sun protection ebook for different types, an insider's guide to cosmetic treatments, Botox, fillers, lasers. And then what you're going to do is you just have to have basic writing or design skills, and you can put this together for them, upload them to their website, or you can use different websites so right now, I'm looking at some websites to do this myself. The one at the top of my list is Kajabi. I was going to do another screen share. If you saw my last two videos, I tried. I even set it up to do it. I don't know. I'm so scared if I want to do it again. But I did set this up for you guys so I could show you. So with the PDF, you all know a regular I'm going to try it one more time, guys. I did come on and so you know how I come on live and I kind of do demos with you live. So you can come on live and you can be hidden. You can use unlisted or privacy and no one will see you. So you can practice and do all those things if you want. So let's do the screen share one more time. And actually, you know what? This should work. Okay. And so you can see okay, so we talk about the PDF. So you know your standard PDF. This is a lookbook. So this is, what do you call this? The Dermatology Nurses Association. And when you go to their website, you can look up. So this is Dermatology Nurses Association. They have a quarterly newsletter for members. It's called Focus. And when you go to their website to click on it, there's two links, one to the PDF and one to this flip book. Oh yeah. Okay. I'm just seeing if great. You can see it. Okay. And so what I love the interactivity of this. Okay. Yes. And so I want to create these. And so I went around looking for that. And look how cool this could be. This is something you can offer that person. You can even bring them to this website and say, here's an example. But really for you, great practice would be for you to do it to make sure you're going to sell something you can actually accomplish and see how much time it would take, because you don't want to sell anything you can't commit to. So, hey, if you say you can do this for them once a quarter, I think you could do that. And especially hopefully most of you are asking for this well in advance of when you need it, because if they agree, like say right now in February, and you don't need them till the summer, maybe during your little break, you can go ahead and knock something like this out for the whole year. And so it's good to kind of have a gauge on how much time it's going to take before you sell your service, before you sell your time. And what a coincidence. This is my article on the importance of learning about skin of color and gender affirming care and aesthetics. This is wonderful. You have my permission to use this. So so these pictures I get from Canva, because you know why? You can't use, especially if you're going to sell something, you have to use images that are like free stock footage, or credit the combination of crediting the images. So wherever you get your images, there's some fine print that tells you what they call, maybe like usage or copyright. It'll have some language in there on what you need to do to use something. So whether you need to get permission or you just need to link to them like DERMnet does, just make sure you pay attention to that. And so this was free images from Canva. and I put them in the article, and then they're there. And so this is something you can do for them. And then DNA, they asked me to make sure they confirmed with me that these are free for use, and I said yes, they were, and so they're here. If that wasn't the case, then they were going to go find some images themselves. But look how you can do this for someone. You can offer this, recommend it. And yeah, and so look, and this one it has hyperlinks, right? So maybe you link back to the website, back to some products they're selling, back to an event that they're going to be hosting, to their social media. Here it links to all the resources that I've shared, which I think is really cool. And so since we're talking about gender affirming care, this is Out Care, which I don't know if I've ever told you guys about this. I think a lot, maybe during Pride Month. But anyway, this is a website, has a bunch of resources on LGBTQ care. They do free webinars, but my favorite thing, they even have a membership. All businesses are going to like a membership subscription model to make sure you have that reoccurring revenue. So that's something you can offer for them. I told you about Kajabi. Okay, Kajabi. This is just actually, you know what? Yeah, Kajabi. So I love Kajabi. So let me put this away for you. So this is Kajabi. You can do a million things, but let's look at the products. Everything you can do here: online courses, coaching, podcasts, memberships, communities, newsletters. If you listen to Elite MP, and a lot of you have, they always talk about memberships. How can you create that reoccurring revenue? So a lot of MPs are going into weight loss. So what do you do after someone has lost weight? How do you keep them as a client? Well, a lot of people are kind of doing some people are calling it microdosing, where you're just giving them kind of like a maintenance dose to stay at their goal weight. But memberships also, so you can say, hey, you can so let's say you come up with a fee that always makes it more enticing to do the annual fee. And then so you pick an annual fee, and then you figure out what it is if you were to split that into months. And you always make the monthly one just a little bit more, that if they paid 12 months of that, it would be a little bit more than your annual fee, because you want to get that cost up front and then just have that cost, that revenue. But anyway, it's built right here: membership, newsletters, communities. You can do newsletters through paid platforms, like independent. Some are just all they do are newsletters. You can go through Canva and do newsletters. You can embed images in newsletter in your email. You have like ConvertKit, which is now just called Kit. And a lot of like professional organizations use Constant Contacts. That's another one. So that you can kind of go to one place. It's like with social media management tools. You go to one place, you create this newsletter, for instance, and then you can schedule it out. And so that's another way someone can save time. So when you're pitching yourself to help this provider in their practice, you can just offer information. That can be a way, like, hey, these are the things you can do, and I can keep you abreast and up to date and help keep your office up to date on these things. You can actually teach them how to do it. That's another way you can be of service. And then you can do it yourself. And as an entrepreneur, that's exactly the same thing. You have different tiers. You can present an ebook. Hey, do it yourself. You can present a 5-day what do you call it? Coaching, right? Where I work along with you and teach you how to go from step, 1 to 5. And then the next tier is, hey, we can work one-on-one, right? Because usually that 5-day kind of like $97 range is a group setting. But then you step it up one more, and maybe you get VIP treatment, or you get monthly consultations, or you get to ask your personal questions. So there's always different points that you can engage your client depending on how ready they are to work with you, and of course how much money they're willing to invest. Look, you can do this. The app, that's why Kajabi is at the top of my list. You can get your landing pages, email marketing, funnels, which we talked about earlier, no code web builder, AI tools, and you can do your payment right here. So what happens is when you start signing up for all these different platforms, sometimes you can't do your payment right there. You have to then go set up another account, which means another fee with something like a Stripe, and then link that. And then it's just like then you're paying this place and that place. And so the fact that it's all right here, that's another thing that's super important to me, why it caught my attention. And then you get your analytics, because you always want to see if what you're doing is working. And if it's not working, change it, right? and focus on those revenue generating assets. That's why you don't want to be, you say, oh, I'm going to do everything myself. Well, does writing an email get you any money? No, we need to have you spending your time on things that get you money. And that's why it does end up being worth it paying for these services, because they can automate it. Got to automate your life, automate your business. And then your CRM, which is your customer relations management, how you keep them in your platform. You want to drive everyone back to your stuff, because that's what you own. And that's where the relationship is going to be sustained. Thinkific is another one, really popular one. I'm trying to think what I told you about Thinkific. A lot of creators use this one, but if you remember what I just showed you, that previous screen, it doesn't have like the app. And I'm pretty sure it has, oh, there's your analytics. It doesn't have, let's see, membership newsletter podcast. I didn't have the podcast one. So you already see a little bit of differences here. And then I wanted to show you Teachable, because this is what I believe the Elite MP, he uses Teachable. And again, you can see the products here, courses, coaching, digital downloads, membership, community, sales, marketing, payments, analytics, support services. Your first question is never going to be your last question. So I always want to think about not just paying something for now, but what's going to help, what kind of support can you have as you continue to grow. And they do have an app hub. So I'm going to be looking into these and making a decision soon. Since we're looking at this screen, I want to shout out a good friend of mine who I just met this week, Claudia Garcia. So if you can, can you see? No, you can't see, but she uses ConvertKit. This is a website so ConvertKit is a platform you can use to convert that what do you call it? That lead into a client, right? And so they just kind of housed everything that we're talking about into one place. And they recently changed their name to Kit. So they even have a blog that you can listen to. I mean, a podcast, and they talk about everything that we're talking about right now. So you can go listen to them and learn a whole lot. But even a thing called like email deliverability, because depending on how you set up your email, especially if it sounds like a sales pitch, a platform like Google Gmail will automatically put it in their promotions folder. And if someone doesn't look at their promotions folder, or they've set up a filter like that, they might never see your stuff if they don't make you, if they don't add you to their contacts. And so ConvertKit teaches you how to avoid those things so that all your time helps you get that client and helps you make that conversion. Anyway, Claudia Garcia, she has her own podcast that she's been kind enough to invite me on. I'll be on there this month talking more to you about the vision and what we're doing at Mahogany Dermatology, Nursing Education and Research. And this is her website. And look what she has done, leveraging LinkedIn. You think I'm the only one talking about it, and I'm not. Workshops on demand. She has monetized her intellectual property. She's offering you 3 workshops. And then, of course, you can get a little glimpse of what that's going to look like. Look, she's teaching you workshop. This is for you, right? You want to sell yourself to that provider? Take advantage of this stuff. Workshop profile to profit. Complete a magnetic LinkedIn profile, authentic branding, content creation, lead generation. So I've mentioned it. Maybe you have a lot of questions. She's your girl. And ConvertKit, they help you with everything. It's another one of those kind of all in house, which I can't recommend enough. And then let's come back over here and stop sharing. And if you're here, don't be a stranger. And then let's see, what else can you do? So we talked about courses, webinars. I've just showed you platforms you can use to do that. Actually, Canva, you can do things over there. You can make PowerPoints, you can make presentations, you can make landing pages. Really, if you want to, not be overwhelmed, Canva has so many resources. There's people online who all they make content for is Canva. That's something you can pitch your provider for, relationships like that outside the box. They should have their own affiliate marketing. Even on Amazon, everyone should have their own Amazon store that you can tell all your patients, hey, go over there. I've told you about the DC foot doctor. He's a podiatrist in DC. He has his own Amazon store. He has urea cream in there. He has shoes that he loves. He can just send his clients to his Amazon store. So you can have an Amazon store and you can have a link. So just like how I showed you that PDF had links, if you have the PDFs, or if you're doing social media content, we create captions, or you have a link in bio and you want to send them to some product that you like or that you love, every time they click on that link and they go to Amazon, you get paid, whether they buy something or not. It's just the fact that you were Amazon's lead to get that customer, because if they go over there and then they look at your stuff but decide they don't want it, but they go buy a book, Amazon wants to thank you for bringing them over to their store. So this is information you're going to share, and then you're going to talk about how you can help them execute in these areas too. So you're doing two things. You're providing information, and then you're actually helping with the execution of it. And then those courses, that they're going to have that forever, even when you're gone. And so think about that when you're pitching yourself. Sponsored content, you can always have that happen. Association with their alma mater. How many schools did that doctor go to, or that NP? So think about that. Nursing schools, other NP entrepreneurs, people hosting programs, and of course getting paid. So it's up to you also to figure out put together like a pricing package for them, and that just takes a little bit of chat GPT and marketing, looking at the market. And you can ask them, maybe they've done some, maybe they can have a price where they're like, okay, this is where my range is for these different types of deals that you're going to go with. And, you can send it to their office manager, you can copy them on it, whatever they feel most comfortable with. Say, okay, I can do that in terms of getting out these pitches to get the deals. And so you can help them set up the affiliate link, create the content, and reach out to brands. And then our last one is going to be paid media and expert consulting. All of our medical providers are trusted experts, and companies will pay them for their opinions, even local media. Like, I love that idea. Get them a regular column in the paper. There's so much media out here. Like even friends, we have nurse.org. You can, if you're working with an MP, reach out to them. Say, hey, can they have a regular column? Get them in media spotlights right here in town. Make it a regular thing. There's an MP on Instagram. She's out in Ohio. She has aesthetics. And I feel like every time she does something new at the clinic, she has media there, right? And she has grown really, really fast. And I think that media has a big part to do with it. So when you're putting yourself in different rooms, those are some of the rooms you probably want to be in. Consult for brands and books. So many people, are skincare experts, hair care experts, and you can really leverage them. You're going to pitch them to these brands, help manage those requests, and help them build a professional portfolio, which can include headshots, update their website gallery, video, and of course that pitch deck and media deck that I talked about. So yeah, those are my ideas for you. And then for yourself, if you're looking to make that transition from bedside to dermatology, or you're interested in a nurse practitioner starter kit, I have ebooks for you so you can see, firsthand what that looks like. I have the link below to go and visit the Mahogany Dermatology shop. And at the time that you're watching this, tomorrow will be Monday, February 3rd. And Jade, the Mahogany DERM nurse intern for the year, will be making her debut on the blog. And we will also be doing our monthly reflections, sharing both of our perspectives as we go throughout the year, because we're a living case study. And so if we're going to tell other people they should start their own internship, we want to be able to provide strategies that work and so that they can kind of hit the ground running. So we'll be sharing our reflections on that. In addition, helping to shape it so the next intern has an even better experience. And also at the end of the year, we'll be able to use all that content to do whatever we want. Maybe we both make webinars, speaking engagements, master classes, ebooks, whatever we want, we'll have that there and we can do whatever we want with it. She's been finishing her onboarding so that she can have all the tools and knowledge that she needs to do quality literature reviews. She's already come up with her PICO question, which we're refining. We're learning about AI tools to help make that literature search faster and help get publications out quicker. And she's working on her certification for dermatology nursing, which she'll share in her article. We did some branding talk today at our little meeting. We're going to be getting some products from Metalita. And so I showed her what I have so she could see it in person. So when those get purchased and delivered, then I'll bring that back on. This week, we attended a webinar by Nurse Ronnie B. She's an MP, aesthetic MP, and she actually is certified out in Chicago, huge social media platform. She hosted a webinar this week on lasers. It was kind of like if you want to introduce lasers to your practice, but it could also just be like you start your own laser company. And so she did that webinar and Jade was free to attend. And so we we talk about it from the business perspective, right? How did she market for this leading up to it? What was the turnout? What was the platform that she hosted it on? What did she think about the way she pitched it? And then what was the response once you registered? So it's a free event. What did she offer? Just enough to make you interested. She had different offers throughout the webinar, and then she had a relationship with a company that she talked about. And then after the webinar, I got an email from that company. So, that's how we are looking at these opportunities, right? Not just as the consumer, her target audience, but as business people, right? That lens. What could you do differently? What did she do really well? One thing we talked about, so she has a really huge social media platform, right? And most of the videos, it looks like it targets the customer. And there's a lot of singing, a lot of dancing. Now, I know I'm 100% sure she gets hit up all the time from aspiring NPs who want to get into aesthetics. And so, she's hosting this webinar. And so you can think, why would you want to give anything away for free? You're going to hear people say, don't give away anything for free. But, shout out to Gary Vee. He says you should give away your best stuff for free, because when people can experience what it's like to work with you, they're more likely to have that know, like, trust factor I told you about. So during the free stuff, you just give away enough information. And then towards the end, you make your pitch and give your offer. And that's what she did. And so I think for those of you who are in social media, getting into that space, and you look at your numbers, a lot of times, numbers don't always translate to conversion. And so that's something you have to be mindful of. So if you have 10,000 followers, do you know all those people? Are 10,000 people buying your product? Because on average, 10% of your followers are going to see your content. Of those 10%, how many of them are actually your target market for what you're trying to sell? So when you're making your content, really be mindful about who you're pitching for, and make sure they know you're talking to them. But anyway, that was a really fun one. We hopped on a demo with DERM Engine, who I did a video with you already. So we learned so much there. I'm going to write a blog as a follow-up to that demo that we had, so you'll hear more about that. I had a meeting with the Hair for You Advisory Board with Children's National Hospital. They're making lots of progress over there. And so that's really exciting. We have so much more coming just to the Mahogany Dermatology platform, including aesthetics. We have some partnerships lining up there. So we'll be able to really have like a whole comprehensive education and opportunities for you guys: medical, surgical, cosmetic, and wounds, right? That's the whole dermatology umbrella. And so to be able to offer that for nurses and nurse practitioners, really exciting. So after a fun day today in Houston, we want to get together more often. Right now, we're just picking when the dates are, but just like we do at DMV Derm, there'll be two in the, like in the spring semester, like springtime. And so today was the first one. The next one will be either April or May. And then I don't do anything in the summer. People never show up. And so again, probably like around September, maybe a Friendsgiving, love Friendsgiving, or something in December, like White Elephant or something like that. But we'll keep you posted. And so some people had been asking me to do stuff in Houston when I came out here. And so there you go. You got your wish. And I think I'll save the rest of the updates for the next video. But today that you're watching this, I don't know if I haven't decided if I'm going to just leave this up or hide it until after midnight. But Sunday, February 2nd, on the Melanin Initiative podcast, we have Dr. Farah Laurent. She's a doctor-prepared nurse. Today, I just wrapped a video explaining the difference between getting your DNP as an NP and as a nurse, which you can do. But anyway, she has, we're talking about business. She has the Nurses Making Money Moves conference coming up on March 8th on Saturday, which is International Women's Day. And so she's going to be a guest on TMI. We talk about loneliness and entrepreneurship, inspired by a recent episode by Oprah and the most recent Surgeon General. So you can check that out. And I put the link to Farah's. She's going to be hosting a free webinar this month on February 8th at 4 p.m. Eastern. I put the link below. Look at that. Look at it as a consumer, right? You can certainly follow. You can sign up and register and attend that. But look at it as a consumer. What platform did you use? You use MailChimp. If you've never heard of MailChimp, I want you to check it out. That's your homework for today. Look at how her face takes up a lot of the screen. Look at the simplicity in the messaging so that you just, it's clear, right? This is kind of something we talked about today. And she was able to execute today. That's what we're talking about. really, and shout out to her, just so proud of what she's doing out there. And sign up for DID. We'll see you March 27th to the 30th in Louisville, Kentucky. And yeah, I'm going to the biggest launch ever, right? That's what I was talking about. So it's an 8-week business coaching with Jasmine Starr. She's huge on social media. My next video, that's going to be all we talk about is that coaching. And I'm going to be, I think that starts February 11th. And as we go through that, I will share with you throughout the program my experience and what you can expect as a result of what we learn there. It is a $2,000 investment. And when you first get into this, coaching and stuff like that, you say, oh, look, they're charging, they want to charge me $2,000. They want to charge me $500. I don't want to pay them that much. But the mind shift I want you to make is how much are you willing to invest in yourself? Because if you take what you're learning, right? If you take what you're learning as an investment, which is what it is, it's really, they're really undercharging. Because if you go, say you take this program that's $97 and you do exactly what they teach you and you just turn it into your branding with your name on it for dermatology, that $97, you're going to get that with one client. So then it's all of a sudden, it's not how much did I pay them, it's how much did I really get? If you can multiply that over and over and over. And so, we don't talk about money enough. And if I'm going to tell you to do something, I want to be transparent about what it takes to do that. And so we'll get into that. I want to thank you for watching. I hope this was really helpful for you. Like I said, every day there's someone in Facebook or LinkedIn talking about how they want to get into dermatology. And so next week, we'll talk about the biggest launch ever. And then after that, I'm answering your questions about starting a niche practice in dermatology as a nurse practitioner with no experience. That is your questions. I can't thank you enough for sending your questions, for continuing to do that. Like I said, I come on here every week on Sunday, a new video. And you can connect with me all over the place. Someone told me today my calendar for February is booked. So it's going to be a busy month, and it sounds like a really good time to start charging. And so I'll be talking about that soon and what that could look like for you. And look, it hasn't even taken that long to get there. I thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.